More than 1 billion people on this planet are currently living with obesity. 1 billion. And despite a multi-billion-dollar weight loss industry offering pills, programs, shakes, and surgeries, that number keeps climbing every single year. Something is clearly not working. In this video, you are going to discover exactly what the science actually says about losing weight, not the trending diets, not the influencer advice, not the supplement ads. The real, peer-reviewed, clinically studied evidence. And there is one finding buried inside the research that completely contradicts what most fitness coaches have been telling you for decades. Stay with us, because it changes everything. To understand where we are today, you need to understand how we got here. For most of human history, weight was not a health crisis. Our ancestors burned enormous amounts of energy hunting, farming, and surviving. Food was scarce, calorie-dense meals were rare, and the human body evolved to store fat as a survival mechanism. That mechanism served us brilliantly for thousands of years. Then the 20th century happened. Industrialized food production, desk jobs, motorized transportation, and the rise of ultra-processed foods completely rewired the relationship between humans and calories. The same biological system that kept our ancestors alive through famine is now working against us in a world of unlimited food access. Understanding this evolutionary mismatch is the foundation of every evidence-based weight loss strategy that actually works. Now let us get into the science. The most fundamental principle in weight loss research is energy balance. To lose weight, your body needs to consume fewer calories than it burns. This is called a caloric deficit, and it is not a theory, it is thermodynamics. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine comparing 12 popular diets found that regardless of the macronutrient composition, weight loss was directly predicted by adherence and caloric deficit. Low carb, low fat, Mediterranean, they all worked equally well when calories were controlled. But here is where it gets complicated. Not all calories behave the same way inside your body. Protein, for example, has a thermic effect of roughly 25 to 30%, meaning your body burns nearly a third of protein's calories just through the process of digesting it. Carbohydrates have a thermic effect of around 6 to 8%. Fat is even lower at 2 to 3%. This is why high-protein diets consistently outperform others in clinical trials, not because of some metabolic magic, but because protein is literally harder for your body to process, and it keeps you fuller for longer. A landmark 2012 study in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that participants on a high-protein diet burned approximately 300 more calories per day at rest compared to those on a low-fat diet consuming the exact same number of calories. 300 calories. That is the equivalent of a 30-minute run, happening automatically, every single day, just from eating more protein. So what does optimal protein intake actually look like? The evidence consistently points to between 1.2 and 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day for people actively trying to lose fat. For a 180-pound person, that is roughly 98 to 130 grams of protein daily. Sources like chicken breast, Greek yogurt, eggs, lentils, and cottage cheese are among the most effective and accessible options backed by nutritional research. But here's what nobody talks about when it comes to protein and weight loss. It is not just about metabolism. High protein intake dramatically reduces the hormone ghrelin, which is your body's primary hunger signal. In a controlled trial from the University of Washington, participants who increased protein to 30% of their total calorie intake automatically reduced their daily food intake by an average of 441 calories without any conscious restriction. They simply stopped feeling as hungry. That is the power of working with your biology instead of against it. Now let us talk about movement, because the research here is far more nuanced than the fitness industry wants you to believe. The common assumption is that cardio is the king of weight loss. Run more, burn more, lose more. But the data tells a very different story. A comprehensive review published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine analyzed over 150 studies and found that exercise alone, without dietary changes, produces remarkably modest weight loss results, often less than 1 kilogram over several months. Why? Because of something called compensatory mechanisms. When you increase exercise, your body often increases hunger, decreases non-exercise movement, and reduces your overall energy expenditure in other areas to compensate. Your biology is trying to maintain its current weight, and it is extraordinarily good at doing so. So does this mean exercise is useless for weight loss? Absolutely not. But its value lies somewhere different than most people assume. Resistance training, lifting weights, has been shown in multiple studies to be the most powerful form of exercise for long-term fat loss. Here is why. Muscle tissue is metabolically expensive. Every pound of muscle you carry burns approximately 6 to 10 calories per day at rest. It does not sound like much, but adding 10 pounds of lean muscle increases your resting metabolic rate by 60 to 100 calories per day permanently. More importantly, resistance training preserves muscle mass during a caloric deficit, which is critical, because losing muscle while dieting slows your metabolism and makes weight regain almost inevitable. A 2017 study in the journal Obesity found that participants who combined caloric restriction with resistance training lost significantly more fat and retained significantly more muscle than those who did cardio or restricted calories alone. The resistance training group also reported better mood, higher energy, and lower rates of weight regain at the 12-month follow-up. Now, what about sleep? This is the factor that almost everyone ignores, and the data is honestly alarming. A study from the University of Chicago found that sleep-deprived dieters, sleeping just 5.5 hours per night instead of 8.5, lost 55% less fat and 60% more muscle compared to well-rested dieters consuming the exact same calories. Same food. Same deficit. Completely different results. Sleep is not a passive recovery tool. It is an active metabolic regulator that controls cortisol, ghrelin, leptin, and insulin, four of the most powerful hormones governing body composition. Here is another pattern most people overlook entirely: stress. Chronic psychological stress elevates cortisol, which directly promotes fat storage, particularly around the abdomen. A 2018 study in the journal Psychoneuroendocrinology found that high-stress individuals lost significantly less weight over 12 weeks compared to low-stress individuals even when following identical diet and exercise protocols. Managing stress is not a soft lifestyle tip. It is a hard metabolic necessity. Let us bring all of this together into what the evidence actually recommends. The most successful long-term weight loss interventions share 5 consistent characteristics. First, a moderate caloric deficit of 300 to 500 calories below your daily maintenance level, large enough to produce results, small enough to preserve muscle and prevent hormonal adaptation. Second, a high-protein diet comprising at least 25 to 30% of total calories. Third, regular resistance training at least 3 times per week. Fourth, consistent sleep of 7 to 9 hours per night. Fifth, stress management practices including mindfulness, adequate recovery days, and social support structures. Notice what is not on that list. Detox teas. Intermittent fasting for everyone. Eliminating entire food groups. Fat burner supplements. These approaches are not supported by strong evidence as superior strategies. Intermittent fasting, for example, works well for many people, but clinical trials consistently show it produces the same weight loss as continuous caloric restriction when calories are matched. It works because it helps people eat less, not because of any unique metabolic window. The real insight from decades of obesity research is this: sustainability is the variable that matters most. A 2020 analysis of 14 popular diets published in the British Medical Journal found that virtually all dietary approaches produced similar weight loss at 6 months, but most of those results were gone by 12 months. The diets that people maintained were the diets that worked. That means any evidence-based approach must account for personal preference, lifestyle compatibility, and psychological sustainability from day one. Weight loss is not complicated in principle. Before you go, if you learned something valuable today, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to HealthCore Daily for a brand new video every single day. We will see you in the next one.